Cocaine increases risky behaviors depending on your age. A new study suggests link between age of drug exposure and risky behaviors of cocaine. This cocaine use makes you alert, improves physical, intellectual performance, decreases sleep, and decreases appetite. So it's surprising Americans reporting use is great. However, cocaine also has addictive properties. Hence, of the 2 million users, over half will meet the DSM-3 criteria for abuse or dependency. That is a lot, maybe. Maybe so, who knows? But cocaine is definitely being used at that amount. Changes in cardiovascular function, erratic and violent behaviors, irritability, anxiety, seizures, and at times even death. Chronic cocaine exposure has also been shown to change brain networks and how users control their behavior. This is logical because our brains are meant to adapt to long-term changes in our chemistry in our surroundings. In fact, for example, long-term exposure to cocaine can lead to desensitization of the brain's reward pathways such that tolerance develops. These individuals require higher and more frequent doses of the drug. They can become irritable, experience panic attacks, paranoia, and at times even psychosis. Another potentially dangerous and still poorly understood outcome of chronic cocaine use is its effects on risk-taking behaviors. Several studies that examine those facing cocaine use disorders using a variety of risk assessment tests confirmed that chronic cocaine use is linked to greater risk taking. The explanation for this drug behavior link, however, varies. Is cocaine increasing sensitivity to reward, such that it encourages choice of drug reward despite its potentially risk outcomes? Are or does cocaine decrease sensitivity to negative outcomes in a way that it increases risk-taking behaviors? Who knows? I will never know. Cocaine has been used in different areas from where I have been and where I have lived. It is a drug. Is it being addictively used? Is it being used as much as you think it's being used? Maybe the cocaine patient is using at their own developmental states. The RDT measures an animal's choice between a small food reward or a larger food reward that is accompanied by a variable risk of punishment, similar to human studies. Studies using RDT show that cocaine using animals are more likely to choose the riskier option of a larger food reward despite its accompanying risk of punishment. Using this RDT model, recent studies by my colleague Caitlin Orsini in the Department of Psychology at the University of Texas at Austin, along with her former colleague at the University of Florida, shed light on an understanding of how chronic cocaine exposure may impact risk-taking behaviors. In this study, the experimenters set out to measure cocaine-induced changes in risky behavior by both male and female rats. To their surprise, however, neither cocaine administered by the experimenter nor cocaine self-administered by the rats had any impact on risky behaviors, regardless of sex. This was an understandably disappointing outcome for the study. You see, a cocaine-induced increase in risk-taking behaviors was a foregone conclusion. The experimenters were more interested in assessing risk behaviors between the sexes and not whether cocaine increased the behavior per se. Yet, that were unable to find changes in risky behaviors in either sex as a result of cocaine. At this point, Orsini and her colleagues more carefully assessed their situation and thought through the approach being used for the experiments. In doing so, they discovered that the age of the animals being used for these experiments was considerably older than those in previous tests. So next, they set out to answer an exciting new question. Is it possible that the effects of cocaine on risky behaviors results from the age of exposure to the drug? They has did things that they have done between ages, older, younger. Just because you're younger, you may want to take a drug more oftenly or more than usual to be higher than usual. But that's just that. To the effects of drugs on risky behaviors. This is to say, earlier behavior than were their older counterparts who first looked at drug at older age. The 2020 National Survey on Drug Use and Health reported the percentage of people suffering from a substance use disorder was highest among young adults aged 18 to 25. That's 8.2 million, followed by adults aged 26 older. That's 30.5 million. And then adolescents aged 12, 6.3 million, and it's different percentages. The age of initial exposure seen in these data make the implications of the findings in this study that make much more significant by showing that the age of drug exposure is an important contributing factor to the development of riskier behaviors, which in humans may include engaging in riskier sexual behaviors and activities. This is YNV Ciego. Please do subscribe and hit the bell ringers and notifications.